This is Jeff, and he is not perfect. Matter of fact, out of all the characters in Clarence, he is probably the least perfect, but that's exactly why he's a fan favorite. Now, when I was a kid and Clarence used to air on TV, I gotta be honest, Jeff was my least favorite character in the show. Something about his snarky, mightier-than-thou attitude used to put 9-year-old me in a frenzy. And I'm sure anyone my age who watched the show around the same time probably feels the same. When I went to watch the show back almost 8 years later, I found myself enjoying his episodes way more than Clarence's. And it's strange, right? He should be the most annoying, self-centered, OCD type character, but he's one of the most interesting to deep dive into. So I'm gonna do exactly that, since y'all fucking love these videos. Let's take it back to the very beginning, the season 1 episode Average Jeff. It centers around how he sees himself and how he sees the people around him, and what his expectations of life are. They lead into his self-centered personality in this one. He does everything his way, and if it can happen, he has a complete breakdown. This makes sense because a kid like Jeff, who always follows routine, studies hard, and is told by his parents, who I'll get to later, is probably the same type of kid who thinks the world revolves around them. Jeff's grade has to take a placement test to determine whether in the Quill group or the Crayon group.
Now, just remember, it doesn't matter if you're in the advanced group, Quill group, or the, other, group, Crayon.
Jeff gets placed with Sumo and Clarence in the Crayon group, which is a surprise to him and the audience. When you see the type of shit the Crayon kids actually do, it's clear that Jeff doesn't fit in at all.
Alright, basically we're learning about history and science. We're gonna stage a battle between the Vikings and astronauts. It's a struggle as all the time.
He does everything he can to keep his own image of perfection intact. To him, it's a really big deal because since he thinks of himself as better than those in the Crayon group, even his 2 best friends, he cannot let it slide. They do a great job of showing all the different emotions he experiences. He really goes through all the 5 stages of grief in this one.
But you seem to have put me in the wrong group. See, this is a crayon card, not a quill card.
Don't you want to be with your friends?
No! I want my life to be better than theirs! Well, I'm sorry, but I'm not leaving until you put me in your class.
What? Am I not allowed to cry?
My name is Jeff Randall. I am a crayon, but not just an ordinary one. I am special.
As the first major insight into his character, they do a fantastic job. Although I won't lie, he comes off a bit like a little bitch half the time. Like I said, he is a lot more complex than I gave him credit for, but still fam, he's a little rough around the edges. But it's all done for the sake of his characterization, so I get it. It is still very believable that he would be annoying. He does eventually learn a lesson at the end though. He reacts to his placement test results, which reveals that he was the exact median, perfectly average, which is really inspiring. I guess he was perfect in some kind of way, but I mean, it's kind of dumb. I feel like he would still be pissed off. And he goes to school the next day with a newfound perspective on being a crayon, which is pointless because it gets nuked the very next day.
No more crayons, no more quills. A class action lawsuit claims our test was gender biased, so we're back to square one.
Jeff has always had a particular taste, which not only adds to his unique role in the show, but also makes it more relatable to me at least. I'm not gonna pretend like I got the most niche taste in the world or some shit, but in the episode Jeff's Toy, which actually came before Average Jeff, which my dumbass forgot, Jeff gets a new toy based off a TV show he likes. When he invites Clarence and someone to his house to check it out, he won't let them play with it. It's clear that these two wouldn't give a damn about this show or Jeff's toy if it didn't have some cool feature. In a previous episode I reviewed, Space Race, Jeff is super interested in spy-related stuff and spends the whole episode acting like one, like he says himself.
I'm not like everyone else. I'm particular. I'm special.
I feel like to truly understand his mannerisms and all that, we have to talk about his parents. Jeff has 2 moms, which I bet a lot of the non-Clarence fans didn't know. So for those who gave the dollhouse his flowers back in the day, I better see the same energy here. Now, growing up with 0 male figures around is obviously going to lead Jeff to act a little different from the boys his age. He's shown to do a lot of conventionally feminine stuff like gardening, cooking, and on top of that, he's easily grossed out. Him criticizing Clarence and Sumo for their rowdiness and their gross behavior and shit isn't just a random character choice. It's tied to how he was raised. He has 2 very supportive moms who, like any parents would, find it difficult to raise an anxiety-prone perfection. The episode Jeff Wins is a good example. Since childhood, Jeff has entered a local cooking competition, but always gives up just before it starts for fear of not being good enough.
And now,
He won't even come out of his room.
We don't see much of them outside of a few episodes, but they seem alright. I mean, they could be worse. In this episode, the moral Jeff has to learn is to not be uptight about his cooking, and to have the confidence to present the stuff he's worked on. Seeing the order and perfection of Jeff, in contrast to the chaos of Clarence, makes for some fun visuals as well as interaction.
Looking good. Punch that chicken. Punch that chicken. Now punch that chicken. Keep punching that chicken. Punch that chicken. Roll that dough. Now it's time to get stuck with.
The whole purpose of him and Sumo in the Jeff-based episodes is to help him break out of his insecurities and to just live. It's also one of the funnier dynamics too. You can make a lot of jokes out of someone being pulled this far out of their comfort. Right before his meal gets judged, Clarence tastes it, and it's so bad the nigga pukes in it. In a panic, he ends up placing the name tags wrong, so this old lady's dish looks like it was Jeff's. He ends up winning because of this. So if you think about it, he didn't win because he let go of his perfectionism, he won because Clarence messed up. On one hand, you could say that this is a good thing, because it shows that you can make something blatantly imperfect and still do good, or it could be bad because it undermines the entire moral of the episode. Either way you look at it, the episode doesn't take the ending too seriously, and I don't really think it matters, because I think the whole point was just to have Jeff think that he could win with his imperfections.
I won? I won! I did it! I really did it! I guess I'm not uptight anymore!
Jeff, is there something on your foot? Wait a minute. 2, 3, 4, 5. Jeff, you have an extra toe!
This, for any child growing up in the 21st century, has got to be one of the most horrifying things I can imagine. Think of all the playground bullying, all the lunch table roasts that would come out of this. Jeff has kept this secret ever since birth, and it's made crystal clear that he is extremely insecure about it, which makes it worse because this is the dude that found out his secret. His obsession with being perfect also comes down to his image, not only how he sees himself, but how others see him. Presentation and looks are a big thing at his age, especially when niggas will clown you for having acne. He goes through a whole school day filled with paranoia, thinking that everyone can see something so obvious to him. Clarence doesn't really help either, because he keeps on teasing Jeff with it and he snaps near the end. I like that it only really hits Clarence that this is serious near the end, and we see how much he cares about Jeff. So he fakes a little stunt to help build his confidence, to say, hey, you all got our own shit, and it isn't even that deep.
I guess, everyone's a little bit different.
Wait! I've been really shy about this for a really long time, but I have 3 nipples!
That's not so weird. I have hair in my ears.
Every Jeff-centric episode so far has had the lesson taught through someone else, whether it be Clarence and Sumo, Miss Baker, even his parents, but what about him? All these examples of Jeff being helped by others to embrace his imperfections, I feel like there has to be one episode where he learns the lesson by himself. Nigga, you already know that, it's just play the next song. The Big PD Pizza Problem. This was the episode that inspired this video. Just hosting his birthday party at a bowling and pizza place. He does his usual shit of trying to make it perfect and just not letting anyone have fun and forcing his idea of fun onto everyone else. Little did he know that another character, Gilbin, whose whole thing is that he never speaks any dialogue yet everyone can understand him, he's also having his birthday party at the same place coincidentally, and people immediately flock to his party. Everyone is shown to have way more fun and to just like Gilbin more than Jeff, which has got to hurt, especially on your own birthday. Being liked less by someone who literally has no dialogue is devious. The whole episode from here just trolls him so hard, it's great.
My name's Jeff.
Oh dear, I'll fix that for you right away.
Now, if you've been paying attention, you'd be quick to realize that this is everything you would need for Jeff to have a complete meltdown. For his own day dedicated to him to fall apart in front of him would be infuriating, even for a non-perfectionist.
I am not being a baby. You took over my whole party.
Gilbin.
That's it.
Serious critic time for a moment. Jeff's lash outs in this episode may make him look immature and childish, and that's because he is. But I'll always stress that Clarence is a show that realistically depicts how children act. I can completely understand a child reacting how Jeff does to a lot of the stuff he goes through, even if it is exaggerated half the time. His anxieties, perfectionist nature, and OCD tendencies are all things that would be hard for any kid to navigate. But because he has good friends and role models around him, he always has good people to check him.
It's not your fault, Clarence, but I overreacted. Big time. I just wanted things to go exactly as planned, for one day.
And he actually learns his lesson himself and fixes the situation. Jeff may not be my favorite character, but he is complex, and I think we need more like him, because I can see a lot of characters relating to him in some way. Shit, I'm almost 18, and some of his episodes had me relating to him in more ways than one. He's not perfect, but he doesn't have to.